Welcome to the Writing with Purpose podcast, where I, Anna Woolliscroft, chat with fellow writers and outdoor enthusiasts about how we can embrace creativity and curiosity to live a life full of adventure that doesn't feel like hard work. I delve into exploratory conversations about my two loves in life, writing and nature connection, as part of my mission to share the well-being benefits they both bring. It's wonderful to have you here today. In this episode of the Writing with Purpose podcast, I solo chat with you about Nature Journaling Week, Crime Writing Month, and listening to your body. Hello and welcome to this edition of the Writing with Purpose podcast. In this episode, I'm sharing a brief solo chat with you because I'm actually taking a break over the summer period. Now, this is mainly because I've finally agreed to listen to my body and slow down. So last week I came down with tonsillitis, which is actually something that I was plagued with as a child, but haven't had it for years. And I've been constantly tired and fatigued, and there comes a point when you just have to listen and think, okay, I'm going to chill out a little bit, claw back some time and relax. So that's what I'm going to do. Mentally, I'm very busy because of the master's degree, as you'll know if you're a relatively a regular, should I say, listener to this podcast. And on Monday, I was bang on my submission deadline of 11:59 p.m. Because of several factors, and this is not the sort of stress that I want to put myself under. Nobody needs that kind of stress. And I also started my final module this week, which is my intention to achieve a distinction with this one. So I want to create a piece that's worth publishing in a magazine or part of a short story anthology. Anyway, the crux of it is, in order to be effective in slowing down and gain the benefit that my body needs, I'd have to create some more space in my diary. And unfortunately, that has meant me making the decision to pause my weekly podcasts over the summer period. There's other things that I am pausing as well, and I'm not taking on any more client work either, so that I can knuckle down, get stuck into the final assignment, but also to be able to enjoy the summer and take some time to myself without constantly feeling the need to work. But I do have some exciting news. When the recordings start again, I've got several wonderful human beings lined up for deep and insightful conversations. Some of my future guests have made a career out of working outside and nurturing a relationship with creativity and nature. And I'm absolutely fascinated by their daily routine and how they make time for themselves and share the wonderful benefits of the countryside and imagination with their clients. So that is to come. And also I've got several published authors who are willing to chat to me about their writing journey and how they also embrace the great outdoors, life in general, and creativity for their own inspiration and, of course, well-being. So autumn in terms of podcasts is going to be incredible, and I'm very excited. So I have got some prompts for you as well, and a couple of topics to discuss with you. So here are some prompts to help you slow down and create more space for you. So describe a simple activity you can engage in mindfully. Now, this can be anything as simple and small as drinking a cup of tea or coffee or taking a few deep breaths. So I encourage you to be fully present and aware of your senses during your chosen activity, and take out your journal and make a note of how you feel during and afterwards. So describe a simple activity you can engage in mindfully. And also take a pen and answer the following. One of your favourite memories is. Now, free write what that is, describe this cherished memory in detail, and recall the sights, sounds, smells, and emotions that you experienced. And ask, why do you think this memory means so much? And thinking about, what do you need to give up, say no to, or let go of in order to prioritise more inner peace with yourself. So identify areas of your life that may be causing stress or overwhelm and consider ways to let go. and or even simplify. Sometimes it's not a case of letting go, it's simplifying the process. And this is a powerful exercise. It's something that I highly recommend everybody does every so often as well, because we can all fall into the trap of being people pleasers, of never saying no, of doing things that actually, as soon as we say yes, or as soon as we embark on something, we know that it's not right for us. But because we're committed, we don't want to let people down, we don't want to feel as though we're a failure, then we continue with that. But it is so, so important to pay attention to our initial gut reaction, how our body responds to certain things, in order to slow down, create space for ourselves, and create a better life that is more fulfilling and nurturing for our well-being. More exciting news. This is it's National Crime Writing Month in June, and I love crime novels as a younger, probably towards my end teens. I read a lot of James Patterson, Karen Slaughter in my early 20s, lots of other authors. I even liked quite a bit of Supernatural with Dean Koontz, which quite often there was a protagonist and they were fighting against something, so there was an element of crime in there as well. But yeah, it's I love crime and psychological thrillers as well. They are sort of my go-to for fiction reading. And 2 weeks ago, I attended the Capital Crime Festival in London. And if you've seen any of my social media posts of late, you will see how excited I was with that. And during the 3 days, I heard from many crime and thriller bestsellers. To say I was in my element and super motivated is an understatement. And albeit maybe small, I did exchange words with Ian Rankin, Kate Moss, the author, that is, not the model, Ellie Griffiths, Anthony Horowitz, to name drop but a few. And I also saw Linda LaPlante, Anne Cleeves, M.W. Craven, and many, many other fabulous authors talk in panels, and they shared their stories, their process, and it was just absolutely incredible. The event boosted my confidence as a writer. It also provided the inspiration and content for my latest assignment, and it actually also lightened my bank account and added to my I can never say this word. So I'm a bibliophile, and bibliophilia, is it? Obsession with books. So to make that sound simple, I spent a lot of money on books, but most of them are signed by the authors. So I'm viewing it as an investment rather than an expense. So I'd love to know if you're a crime fiction lover, or have you written any crime fiction yourself? Please do let me know in the comments, or find me on social media and let's have a conversation about it. So I've got a few more prompts on this. You might think that this is a strange way of leading into some prompts, but crime fiction readers do enjoy exploring the darker aspects of human nature, is fair to say, and the complexities of the human psyche. Maybe that's why I'm so into it, because I love human behaviour and understanding why people do the things that they do. Why are they motivated to do certain things? Maybe it's a form of escapism, maybe it's a quest to guess who the bad guy is, but whatever it is that you enjoy about reading, let me share a couple of prompts for you to think about. So, number one, amidst the darkness and violence often depicted in crime fiction, it is important to remember the positive aspects of life. So reflect on the things that you're grateful for, whether it's a supportive friend, a loved pet, or a cherished memory. Write about these sources of joy and appreciation, and I would suggest creating a list in your journal that you can add to either on a regular basis, or even practice these little spots of gratitude every day, or certainly on a regular basis. It's amazing how much we start to see more things around us, observe more things around us, and appreciate the little things once we set the intention to become grateful for things. And journal prompt number 2, many crime fiction protagonists exhibit remarkable resilience in the face of adversity. So reflect on your experiences of overcoming challenges or difficult situations, and spend some time to write about the qualities or strategies that you have used that have helped you to persevere and grow stronger. And I can honestly say that when you start writing this, you'll be surprised at how many things you come up with of what you've overcome, and how you've kind of become more resilient to the challenges that life throws at us. And none of these are to be poo-pooed away, because they all help to shape us. It's all character building. It's all ways that we can gain more from life. So yeah, happy writing with that. And a final section today is last week was International Journaling Week. Sorry, International Nature Journaling Week. Was it last week? It might have been the week before. Anyway, it was the 1st to the 7th of June was Nature Journaling Week. Now, I love being in nature, but I don't always practice nature journaling as such. And it is a wonderful practice of recording your observations, experiences, and reflections about the natural world. And this can be through writing, drawing, or a combination of both. And most things that you will see on the internet, or if you do any kind of workshop with nature journaling, it's usually a combination of both, because it's all about connecting your senses to the outside world, and visualizing what you see there. And you don't have to be a great drawer. I am not brilliant at drawing anything apart from probably stick men. And sometimes if I concentrate, I can draw the outline of an animal. But it's more of a cartoon animal rather than something that looks like what it does in reality. But whatever it is that you choose as far as nature journaling goes, it does involve slowing down, which is something that I've mentioned that I need to do more of. So it helps you to become present in the moment. I've said that it engages all senses because it allows you to connect with nature more deeply. And because you're actually outside when you're nature journaling and you're observing what's around you, it's very mindful, it's very creative, and it's very thought-provoking. And to be fair, it's also a super way to reduce stress and anxiety, and it does give you a mood boost. A mood boost, is that the right way of saying it? Boost your mood boost, I guess it is. And I've said this many times before on this podcast, but it also provides me with a lot of energy. So being outside, it does top up my battery. And even if I'm doing some exercise, it does the same thing. But equally, if I'm sitting there in the garden, on a bench, in a park, or on a nice little mossy patch of greenery in a wood, I still gain energy from that experience. So I think it's important to reflect on this sometimes. And the theme for this year, for National Journaling Week, is the cycle of life. So, it helps to actually think about these cycles, seasons that we see, which are absolutely fascinating. You can look out of the same window and it always looks different no matter what time of year or day you look outside. So, it's nice to actually see how these things change and embrace the sounds of nature, bird song, wind, rain. It just helps you to feel a lot more connected to nature and to yourself as well as you start to observe them. So here are some journal prompts to have a think about nature journaling. So number 1, how do you observe nature? Take a few moments and sit quietly and observe your surroundings using all senses. And that includes your sight, sounds, smells, textures, and tastes that you experience. And also take a note of colours, shapes, movements, and patterns that you see in nature, because when you take the time to observe, there is such a lot out there that you can take inspiration from, just help you to relax and help you to gain a little bit of clarity in life. Number 2, focus on a specific element of nature that fascinates you. Now, that can be a plant, a rock, an animal, some sort of natural phenomenon. I love to lie there on a warm day and gaze at the clouds, see what sort of shapes that I can see in there, and try to take out your journal and describe what it is that you're focusing on in detail, and include its unique characteristics, any behaviours that you might see, and any interesting facts or stories associated with it. You might even gain inspiration from something that you observe and create your own story about it, or your own poem about it. So just see what it leads to. See where your curiosity takes you, and how nature evokes various feelings within you. So that kind of comes to the end of the podcast. I did say it was going to be a short one. It's probably still going to be 20 minutes. That's me, though. But I'll have lots to share with you over summer anyway, and I will continue to share my bi-weekly newsletter. I do miss the odd week, I'll admit it. I am human after all. But I've got a few adventures coming up that I will share with you during these newsletters, along with some prompts every so often, because I've got a summer solstice walk in the diary, a forest bathing experience, and a cacao drink. I can't say this. Yes, it is cacao, isn't it? Drinking experience. So yeah, all of that is to be shared with you. And please do sign up. The link is in the show notes. Please also subscribe to the podcast so that you'll know when the next episode drops. When I start again, it will probably be the first week in September, but life does happen and sometimes things get in the way. So please do subscribe, leave a review to help other writers, creativity and nature enthusiasts to find it. And I am going to leave you with a quote from the insightful yet humble Deepak Chopra, who I had the privilege of watching on stage and in person in Manchester this week. I must admit, I was mentally challenged, although it was in a good way. And he shared some very powerful concepts about what we know in reality, what we don't know as well, and how we can deepen our awareness. And I was quite fascinated with him saying that direct experience is anything that we have, that we directly experience through our senses, but anything beyond that is a story. So I took from that anything beyond our sense of sight, smell, taste, hearing, touching and hearing is a mental construct. And I thought that was food for thought. So how much of the stuff that we believe in, we have opinions about, is a mental construct that it has no direct experience with us, on us whatsoever. And I thought that was quite interesting to unpack, and maybe a final poignant prompt for you to have a think about. So in the closing words of Deepak, simply with a change of mind, you can change your life. So thank you very much for listening, and I will hopefully be speaking to you via the newsletter, and I shall be verbally speaking and in conversation with some fabulous human beings again in September. Do take care, do have a fabulous summer, and do stay creative and curious about everything and everything you see in life. Thank you for listening to today's Writing with Purpose podcast. Having conversations with fellow writers or adventure enthusiasts brings two of my biggest loves in life together, writing and nature connection. I've been a copywriter and content creator for 23 years, but my passion is writing for well-being, and I'm on a mission to share the benefits that putting pen to paper has for personal wellness with as many people as possible. If you want to learn more about writing for your well-being and journaling techniques, please connect with me in my Facebook group, Journaling with Anna.